Alright everybody, welcome to First Attack here on Ultra Chen TV. I'm James Chen, and provided that there is no technical gaffes and everybody can hear me just fine, I will go ahead and start the episode today. Trying to move the microphones a little closer to me here. Alright, there we go. And, oh, hey, look at this guy here. Look at this dude just chilling down here. Hey there. But yes, today what I'm going to do is another episode of Ask Jchensor. I haven't done one since April, and I kind of remember at the end of that episode I asked if people were okay with me doing it a bunch more, doing a bunch of Ask Jchensor episodes, like if I did one once a month or whatever like that. People said they were going to be okay with it and everything like that, and I haven't done one in 5 months, so apologize for everybody who sent questions in quite a while ago and hasn't been answered yet. I swear this is not my own trick here to get people to keep watching, be like, when's he going to answer my question, and wait 5 months. Honestly, it's just I haven't gotten around to doing another one of these episodes. I'll try to do them a little bit more often. Hang on, let me move this up here so you can see most of me. Okay. But yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to do some more of these so I can get to your questions a little sooner. Again, some of these questions I'm going to be answering are all the way back from, like, let me see here. What's the oldest question here that I have? Yeah, from the day that I did that. So the last time I did it was April 28th, so the oldest question I have is from April 28th. So apologize again for getting some questions some of these questions a little bit late. I'm going to try to think of a system by which maybe somehow I can get it so that I won't have people submitting questions until like a week before the show or something, if I can plan that far ahead. But in any case, let's stop the mumbling, rambling here, and let's just go ahead and get started with the Ask Jchensor questions. Again, if you guys are unfamiliar with Ask Jchensor, basically you send me an email at ultrachentv@gmail.com. Put in the subject Ask Jchensor, or just any way that you can get my attention, and then pretty much I will try to answer them here on an episode. You can ask any question that you want, whether it has to do with community, gameplay, strategies, or anything that you want to know about me personally or whatever. I'm not guaranteed to answer every question, but you can ask whatever you want. So let's go through these questions here. I've got quite a few questions here today. I'll see if I can have time. Some people are still sending me questions today since I announced that I'm doing a Ask Jchensor episode. I'll try to get to them. Got a lot of questions here, so it's going to take a little bit, but let's see how many I can get through. All right. So the first question I get is from David. He basically says that he is having trouble playing offensively in Street Fighter 4 and in BlazBlue. He's used to letting his opponent make mistakes while he capitalizes on them. But as he starts playing higher skilled players, that he has no idea how to get his opponent to crack, or at least respect his advantage. He's aware of all the concepts like block strings and tick throws, but he just feels like he can't get offense started. He just gets really tentative during his offense. He's afraid of getting countered by uppercuts and stuff like that, but he has trouble applying mix-ups. So, one of the good things, though, about playing against people who are not as strong as you, and then you do get to apply your offense and beat them up, it really does help you understand the pace of the game and the flow of your own offense. Really what happens is that if you have a strategy where you're trying to be offensive like this, and then your opponent at higher levels is not getting cracked by it, and they're finding ways to defend against it, and then all of a sudden you do not know how to open up the opponent and such. What it really means is that your gameplay is a little bit one-dimensional at this point. You have a really strong offense, you have a really strong battle plan, but once that battle plan is defeated, or at least countered, it doesn't even have to be full-on countered, let's just say it doesn't work as often, you don't have as many backup plans to go to. So a lot of the times when you play the game, when you develop strategies, when you develop offense, one of the important things to do is to develop alternates to your offense, keeping in mind how someone would counter your offense. For example, I've been playing a lot of Under Night in Birth, and I've been just learning the game. And I've been developing all these cool little mix-up tricks and lots of little rushdown stuff in the corner. But I know that it's pretty easy to block a lot of the things that she does. She doesn't have crazy vortex mix-ups like a lot of other characters do. So basically what I just started to develop then was a means by which to apply pressure. Like, this is an example of what I did. Is I went in training mode, and what I actually did was put the computer on block, forever guard, and just try to keep rushing him down. Just keep applying pressure, right? Because basically it's easy to block her, so basically I'm just trying to develop ways to keep my mind focused. So I'm not assuming my opponent's going to get hit by anything. So I have this really cool mix-up that catches you with a jump attack that you think that you have to block low or whatever like that, and you get hit. But I'm not going to assume that you're going to get hit by that, so I'm developing all this stuff around it, so I'm learning all these different strategies on how to open up your opponent. It's actually something very underrated in terms of the later I hate calling them anime games, but yeah, the anime games. Under Night and Birth, Guilty Gear, Persona, Blaze Blue, these games, even Marvel actually, put the computer on push block might even be really good for this, but just learn how to apply pressure. Don't practice combos. Practice keeping the rushdown going. Figure out where your offense stagnates while you're attacking them and they're blocking, and then try to figure out how to keep that offense going. It's a really good technique to use. But mainly, really what it comes down to is that you need to develop a lot of different facets to your strategy if you can't open up the opponent anymore. And if they're smarter and they are just basically defeating your offense, then you just need to switch it up a little bit, figure out where the holes in your offense is. And it's good because they're educating you where the holes in your offense are. And once you learn that, you can start learning how to cover it. Or, for example, one of my offensive tricks with Nanase is during block string, you can do this thing where you cancel into flying and then jump over, and the opponent's waiting for it, so he just sticks out a button and hits me because there's a big hole in there, right? In training mode, it looks really cool, but in actual combat, it's not very good. So instead, I switch to throwing an instant air fireball instead, so when they touch a button, they get hit by that, and I get a big old combo, right? So basically, I've had to learn how to adjust my strategy based on where the hole is in my offense. So that's very, very important to learn. So, okay. So let's go to the next question. Thanks for that question, David. So this question is coming from Carlos. And basically, he says that he has a lot of trouble dealing with opponents playing characters that have a lot of safe pokes, such as Bison and Cammy in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. What is a general game plan to open up characters that can poke and pressure and always be safe on block? This comes to the fundamentals, the triangular fundamentals of footsies. Basically, the answer really is don't block. Learn the distances of your opponent and try to stay outside the distance. So what happens is if Cammy has a lot of safe pokes and she tries to poke you, if you're standing outside, then she whiffs and then you can whiff punish her. So if they are getting close enough so that they can keep applying pressure on you, you're not doing a good enough job keeping them at a distance away from you. And that is definitely an issue. Harder than it sounds, and if you get backed into the corner, you have very little control over your distance, so the opponent probably will keep rushing you down and body you pretty badly. Then really the goal is just to learn how to fight, maintain your ground and fight for your space. But for characters who are always safe on block, I mean, it sounds really stupid, but honestly, the answer is don't block their attacks. In the case of someone like Bison, who has a short scissor kick, which is -1 or -2 in Cross Tekken, I don't remember. But in those situations, then what you want to do is he has to be charged for that. Pay attention to when he's charged and neutral jump a few times. A lot of times you can neutral jump and he scissor kicks and you come down and you can beat him up. So that's generally a really good strategy. But yeah, learn your distancing. If it's that easy for your opponent to make you block, you're standing still too much. You're defensive crouching too much. You're down backing too much. What you need to do, start walking a little bit more, be a little braver, and move around a lot more, and keep your opponent guessing where you are. Okay. So, again, for those of you who just tuned in, just doing an Ask Jchensor episode here. Peter asks me, just a personal opinion for me is, are you looking forward to Tekken Cross Street Fighter or Tekken versus Street Fighter, assuming that it actually comes out? And he's wondering if Street Fighter pros will take it seriously. If it comes out, I'm sure lots of people will take it seriously. As for me personally, I mean, it really depends on how the game is when it comes out. When I first heard about Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I was super excited about it. I was like, dude, that's so sick. Street Fighter and Tekken characters finally fighting each other. When the game came out, I didn't like it so much. So really, yeah, I can get hyped for games that I don't know anything about, such as Guilty Gear Xrd. But, honestly, I didn't think we were ever going to see a new Guilty Gear, so when I saw that, my mind exploded. Tekken Cross Street Fighter, if it is more Tekken-based, personally, it'll be harder for me to get excited about because I don't know how to play Tekken. I'm completely ass at Tekken. So, it would be sad for me because it would be hard for me to play, but of course I'd be interested in seeing it because I love fighting games and it's just cool to see more stuff and more variety. Okay, so let's see here. Joe asks me, he says to me he's been playing Street Fighter on and off for a while and he switched character a lot, but the main issue is that he has the roadblock of learning combos and how to effectively train in training mode. The main problem is that when he tries to learn a basic bread and butter combo, he can't consistently perform it. He has like a 50 to 75% success rate when he tries to do the 5 in a row thing, like try to do the same combo 5 times in a row. So how does he best identify the timing of combos, specifically when he's just reading or watching a guide? Even when I perform the combo, I still can't get the timing right and end up frustrated after a few minutes and can't seem to stay in the lab for too long. This is a very common issue, and I get shades of this question a lot, and some of the other questions that I'll get through are very similar to this. It's just basically how to train in training mode and how to get good at doing a bunch of stuff. One of the things about learning combos, and one of the reasons why I'm actually really good at doing combos in general, is because I used to make combo facts. I like breaking the system down. I like understanding why everything works. If you're having trouble landing a combo, a lot of the times it helps to figure out why the combo isn't working or where the mistakes come from. For example, if you're trying to do a one-frame link, if the move gets blocked by your opponent, it means you're hitting the button too late. If your move doesn't come out, it means you're hitting the button too early. Sounds like a simple concept, but a lot of times when people try to practice links, they don't even think of that. They just keep trying to hit the button and hope something comes out. But if you start developing a constant rhythm, a timing, that'll help you performing one-frame links. I did this for some of the execution corners as well. There was an Elizabeth combo someone had me do for Persona. I don't know Persona very well, but one part involved, her tornado move where she lifted you up and then brought you down, and the key was to have the character fall down on you towards the end of that move so you recover fast enough. I'm fortunate enough that I've played so many games and done combos in all these different games that I can kind of piece that together just from how the move behaves. But those are kind of things that are good to learn about combos. Why is the combo dropping? What is not working? What could possibly be causing it? Use the inputs. Look at the inputs coming out. Sometimes you're just not doing the uppercut code properly or something like that. And then that actually helps you learn how to do the combo better if you know why it's failing. And then also, doing the combo repeatedly a bunch of times in training mode can be very boring, and it is boring for a lot of people. For me, I don't know. I can't explain it. I just like doing combos, so I can do bread and butters. Like in Marvel, I'll do my bread and butter combo 20 times in a row and never get bored because I just feel good every time I land it. But honestly, a lot of it is muscle memory, and I always say that combos are very musical, very, very timing based. If you have a music background, it makes doing combos much easier because most combos are very, very rhythm based, and you want to program that rhythm into your brain, into your muscle memory. So, for example, Link timing, for example, like Cammy, I already know is low fierce, low forward. that's kind of the timing. But if I want to do Rufus short into fierce, the timing is about like short fierce. I kind of inherently know what the timing is in general in my brain. And obviously for characters I play more, I'm going to know the timing even that much better. But, you know, you just kind of get that idea. So like I said, the Cammy version is fierce, forward, right? There's automatically delay, and I kind of have that in my head. And then for Rufus, it's short, fierce. You know, just kind of understanding what the rhythms of the combos are. And it helps to have a musical background. Also, I mean, honestly, if you're having trouble performing some of these crazy links or some of the more difficult combos, simplify them until you get good at the simple combos. Keep doing the simple combos first until you get good at those. Then kick it up a notch, get a little bit more difficult, practice that. In matches where you're winning by a lot or you get a dizzy, go for a combo. Don't worry about dropping the combo and losing the fight because you're just practicing the combo. Stuff like that. But mostly, yeah, just keep on grinding away at that combo and just try to understand why it's not working. That's really, really important. Let's see, did I get everything in there? Yeah, and if you're just reading a combo, like if you just read a combo, for example, like saying like, here's a bread and butter, and it's like medium punch, heavy punch, blah, 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 blah. Don't do the combo from beginning to end. Well, start from the beginning to the end. And when you reach a point where you don't understand what's going on in the combo, just do the combo from that portion. If you're playing a game fortunate enough that you can do that. Some games aren't like that because of hit stun deterioration and stuff. But, you know, try to break the combo down into pieces and see how it's supposed to work and figure that part out first. And then you can start piecing the whole thing together. But it's really important to understand the combo in order to perform the combo. You must be the combo in order to do the combo, basically. Okay, so let's move on. Sorry if I'm kind of jumping through these really quickly, but like I said, I have a lot of questions, so I want to get through as many as I can. Otherwise, I probably have to wait another 5 months for the next Ask Jchensor. So, okay. So Robert asks, he has an issue with playing a character for a while and getting bored with them. How can he stick to a character and master them? That's just, you just got to find the character that interests you, honestly. It can be through character design, gameplay options, it fits your style, or you're just a super fan of the character, right? So, for example, I love Felicia, so I keep playing Felicia in Marvel, even though she's bad. But, you know, that's just the way it works. And a lot of the times when I see characters in new games, like for example, I'm sorry I keep bringing Under Night and Birth into the conversation, but that's all I've been playing recently. But for example, I really wanted to learn the game easily, and I looked at all the characters. Some of them seemed complicated. Nanase seemed really simple, so I picked her to learn the game. And that's really all it came down to. That, and when she's in her neutral animation, her sword looks like it was drawn by a computer. Like, it doesn't look like it's sprite based. It looked like it was 3D, and then they, you know, they like rasterized it or whatever the term is for it that like made it look 2D. So I don't know. That was fascinating to me. So. Vectored it, yeah, exactly. So basically, that was all the only reason why I picked her. But then I used her to learn the game and stuff like that. And then eventually, I found out she was really complicated, and you know, she was really fun to play. So I've just stuck with her, and now I really like Nanase in that game. But it really comes down to finding something that fits your style or just your personal preference. I generally, because it's me, I generally advise people to go ahead and play characters that you like, that you have a personal attachment to. Someone like David, for example, doesn't do that. He just plays characters that he likes. He doesn't necessarily have personal investment in them. So that's it works both ways. It works both ways. For me, because I'm definitely more emotional and stuff like that, I definitely want to pick characters that I'm more a fan of. So, okay. Let's see here. Keach asks, he's been playing Street Fighter 4 since vanilla. He's mained a Buki for the first year and a half before he moved on to several other combos. However, his bread and butter has always been the hard punch, basically the target combo, hard punch down, hard kick, standing hard kick. What that does is that it's the one where she hits you twice and then sweep and then kicks you out of the air. It does decent damage, sets his opponents up in a situation that he's become very comfortable with. Problem is, he sees other top of Buki players using the Tsumuji, the spin kick move, and going into neck breaker and all this stuff, and it sets the opponent up for the vortex, whereas the chain combo he does not. He says he's horrible with one-frame links, so this goes back again, learning the timing, practicing, and doing all these things like that. He understands how to do them, and in training mode he can do it once out of every 20 tries, but again, learn the timing of it, and it's a very musical thing. He's been playing almost 4 years now, and he still hasn't perfected one-frame links. So, all of his questions combined, the TLDR is, should he keep playing the Buki the way he has because he's comfortable with it? Yes and no. Really, honestly, the other combos are better. So you should learn them because you do get the hard knockdown, you do get the vortex, and it is very important for her game. So you probably should learn some of the other combos. So even though you're comfortable with it, it might not be the right way. However, that is not to say what you are doing is wrong. If it is your comfort zone, sometimes you may need to go into it and maintain with it, and that's fine. But in general, try picking up the new combos. Slowly move yourself over to the hard knockdown combos. Don't try to just change your game completely. Like I said, one of the important things is if you have a big life lead, go for a harder combo. If you knock them dizzy, go for a harder combo and stuff like that. Because once you knock them dizzy, or if you hit them with a focus crumple, go for a harder combo. Because then it's sort of like training mode. You know this combo is going to connect. You can practice it in a battle. And the more you land it in battle, the more confident you'll get at it. If you're just trying to land it out of nowhere, it's really, really hard to do. So slowly transition yourself to the other Ibuki strategy. And so he asks, should he focus several months in training mode to drive this new bread and butter combo to his head? Yeah, actually, when you get a chance, just play training mode as much as you can. The nice thing about it is, in the new Street Fighter 4 games, you can do online training mode. So basically, you play on. Well, you can wait for rivals in training mode. So basically, you can sit there and practice that combo all day, and then when you play online, don't do that combo. Just play how you're comfortable. Then go back to training mode and keep practicing that hard combo, and go back and forth and back and forth. And every once in a while during the game, while you're playing online, you'll get him dizzy, hit him with a focus crumple, then you go for that harder combo, and then you start getting used to using it and such. But yeah, it is a good idea to learn a lot of those combos, and unfortunately, training mode is probably the best way to learn it. Are one-frame links impossible to consistently do online? Yes and no. Depends on your connection. Obviously, on good connections, it's very easy to do consistently if you can do it offline. But man, again, I've been playing a lot of Under Night, and Nanase has some combos that require very precise button timing, and the lags keep changing between good and bad and whatever, and then I go play offline, and it's ruining me right now, so it's really hard for me to maintain my timing on there. So yeah, one of the important things about online is you just have to realize it is online, and you can't get mad at it like I do. I get so mad when I play online when I can't land my combos because of lag. It just drives me nuts. But you honestly have to just realize it is online, and that's just part of how it happens. So it's really frustrating, but I totally understand. So and then he also asks, should he abandon Ibuki because he cannot use her to her full potential and focus on other characters as he can't seem to break old habits? No, keep going, keep using Ibuki because it's obviously a character you like, and you'll be willing to put that effort into it. If you really just feel like you can't do those combos, what you should just do then is just focus on learn to start changing your combos to doing the Tsumuji, the spin kick move, into the sweep ender. Because the sweep ender is a hard knockdown. You can go for a pseudo vortex, and then you won't get max damage, but you'll at least still get the hard knockdown, and you'll start building the muscle memory to punish with like standing forward into spin kicks, as opposed to the target combo that you always do. And then after that, you can start slowly progressing to try to hit them with the Tsumuji and the stand jab links or whatever crazy crazy Sako combos there were a long time ago and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I see some people talking about one frame links in the chat, and they're saying that they should be 2-frame links. Again, the way that the fighting games work with frame data, just based on the math, like if there's a 1-frame link and I lighten it up so that it's a 2-frame link, there was probably another move that was 1 frame too slow to combo, and because you made a move recover 1 frame faster, now that too slow to combo becomes a 1-frame link. Like, no matter how you move the moves around, you're always going to end up with 1-frame links just based on the way the game is designed. The only way to fix it is through a system-wide change, kind of like how BlazBlue, when you hit a button during one of your moves, it automatically repeats it for like the next 3 or 4 frames or something like that. So even if you hit it a little early, it'll come out. That would require a system-wide change. Don't think that's going to happen with Street Fighter 4 anytime soon. So if you want to play Street Fighter 4, you just got to learn the 1-frame links if you want to play at the highest level. But again, there are a lot of non-1-frame links that you can start with that are effective, and you can do a lot of things that are very similar. Get the results of the 1-frame link, for example, but don't worry about landing max damage. Max damage sometimes is a little overrated. That's really if you are playing at like the supreme highest level. So some people say that in BlazBlue the buffer window is 3 frames. Okay, so thank you for that, Marius. Okay, whew. Let's go to the next one here. You know what? This one is kind of a half execution corner, half. So let's just do this. So. He's a jury player training on and off since Super, but he's having consistently problems doing a lot of the execution portion. So from what he can tell, the execution seems to be the core of his problems. He can't seem to get over a certain amount of BP or PP, and he even knows that the numbers are useless, but it's still just one of those things that you see the numbers never rise, so you just feel like you're not getting any better. He's gone to SRK Wiki and he's checked out YouTube. He's done all sorts of stuff, but he's unable to transfer what he sees, and to inability to react with the optimal situation. Issue makes me concerned that I might grow frustrated and give up on Street Fighter. And so yeah, again, same thing. It's okay to be stuck on the stuff that you already are used to, and in fact, it's a good way to start fighting games because you want to learn those pet moves, because that at least gets you into the game. As you play, you want to start switching away from them. And a lot of the times is, the best times is to kind of give yourself a mental trigger. Like I said, if you're winning by a lot, on some matches you're going to run into some situations where you're winning by a lot, you can trigger something in your brain like, I'm going to go try for something harder. I've seen a lot of players do that in tournaments, actually, in first rounds of pools. I've seen players go for really hard things just to make sure that their hands are warm, and ready for the combos and stuff like that. So definitely find the opportunities and just keep it in mind while you play. It's easy to forget and stop thinking about it, and just to keep doing the same old things over and over again. But definitely try your best to get your brain to think something else. But one of the things that you normally do is look at life and see that that your life is a lot larger than someone else. So you can go ahead and be willing to try something that you're scared to do because you're afraid you're going to lose or something like that. So, but yeah, if you honestly do feel like execution is one of your biggest problems, like I said, dial down the execution. If you're jury, don't worry about any crazy link combos. Just go for low forwards into pinwheels and stuff like that. Just don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. Because if you only go for hard stuff, you're just going to miss it. It's going to frustrate you, and that's going to push you even more into the standard execution, to the comfort zone stuff. And so you don't want to do that to yourself and get yourself discouraged in those situations. So, okay, wow, I didn't get through very many questions, but I'll keep going. But in the meantime, let me take a break real quick, and when we come back, I'll keep going with some more of these Ask Jchensor questions. Be right back.